What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Big Country, and we're now moving into the bonus tracks associated with their 1991 album No Place Like Home. Thank you again to Wayne, as well as to Tim and Han Solo and others who've been part of this deep dive. And yeah, so I assume these are B-sides, non-album released tracks. Maybe it's part of a deluxe edition which featured tunes which were originally unreleased, but at least in this case, I don't think that's the case because it's called the radio edit, and the song is called Save Me. So yes, again, I wonder if this was a B-side, but maybe this isn't the version that was on a single release. Maybe this is a version that was specifically edited and tailored for radio play. In any case, the phrase Save Me, it's pretty straight away. It's an appeal to be rescued from some calamity or dire circumstances. Now that could be more physical, though I imagine here it might drift toward the emotional or conceptual rescuing and saving. But yeah, it is an appeal put out. Now you can say save me to a general audience, anyone who may be listening, but I imagine this to maybe be more targeted, save me issued as a plea to a particular individual. So let's see what I can pick up on a first listen. This is Big Country, the track is Save Me, and it is listed as the radio edit. Oh, and it's apparently taken from disc 1 of Represents. So yeah, I guess that's part of some, compilation release that includes tunes from the era of particular albums. In any case, it is the first of several bonus tracks that are shown in this larger folder. Indeed, I think there's 6 more after this, so we'll look forward to that. But yeah, let's give it a listen. This is Big Country, Save Me, the radio edit.
on and save me. Come on and save me. I need to know if you're the one that's gonna change me. Come on and change me. Just rearrange me. I need to know if you're the one that's gonna save me. Come on and save me. Come on and save me. I wanna know if you're the one that's gonna change me. Go on and change me. Hey, rearrange me. I need to know if you're the one that's gonna save me.
I was feeling like if this is what I typically expect from a radio edit, it's going to start fading right after this measure break. But no, it was a proper ending, which I always appreciate. So yeah, number one, it's another tune which, it's got a rock sound, I guess technically like pop rock, but with a bit of a, again, like rustic or, kind of country flavor. I wouldn't call this country by any means, but again, it has a bit more of like a rural, like, out in the countryside rock sort of feel. And I would say also, I think Stuart's vocals on this one are great. Right when he comes in with a lot of emphasis and melodic flavor, and there's points over the duration of the tune where that is very evident. And then secondarily, I feel like the essence of the main theme here lyrically is found in the chorus. Like, he wants to know if this other person is the one that's going to change him. Now, another person could be, it could be like a religious idea. It could be like he's looking in the mirror. But I feel like this is maybe more easily interpreted straight away. Someone of significance in his life, whether that's a, significant other, like a potential romantic partner, or just someone of prominence who, because they're in close proximity, because there is some special connection, or because they are in a unique position to change him, to rearrange him, as he says, there is this possibility of being saved. And there was that line about, like, was it like agony is never, I don't know if it was never far away, but there was some line about how, like, bad feelings are always there, and so it feels like, whoever this person is, they could change him by pulling him out of that, or moving him along and away from that negative or pain, like maybe it was painful feelings. Again, I forget the exact phrase, but it sounded like he's saying, that's always there, so are you going to be the one to change that? Are you going to be the one to rearrange my emotional configuration and save me in that regard? And I do feel like the willingness to be changed is like an implication here, because you could say, like, someone comes along and they want you to do things differently, whatever, but if you're resistant to that, then it's not likely to change much. So yeah, there's an openness in this questioning of, are you going to be the one to do this? So I enjoyed trying to unpack that. The verses I didn't catch as much of, in part because I was focused on the guitar, like, and not only the guitar but the drums. Like, there were these dancing hi-hats that I heard at a number of points in conjunction with the very frenetic guitar playing, even before you get to that solo section where it does, flourish and flare up quite a bit. But even just in, like, the normal cycling of the sonics, the guitar had a very intense and kind of frenetic sequence. And yeah, ultimately, I do enjoy the overall music atmosphere. Again, it has a rocking sound, again, with a bit of a, like, rustic flavor. And as I said, I think Stuart sounds great on vocals. So yeah, curious to hear how close to or far away from the lyrical or thematic meaning here I am, but definitely a cool tune. And I wonder, is there a different version of this, if this is called the radio edit? But either way, I look forward to going through more of these bonus tunes. Once again, big shout out to Wayne. Let me know what you think, and Luca and I will see you next time. Peace.